All right, what's up, dough chasers? This is Jason White, CEO and founder of Witness Riches. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about how you're living to be a consumer, okay? And basically, my whole approach is to help you change your mentality when it comes to how you look at your finances and how you actually use your finances. And the goal of my company, Witness Riches, is to help you transcend financially. So this information that I'm going to be sharing with you today, hopefully, it hits a nerve, and it allows you to actually look at how you use your money so that you can use it in a better way, so that you can begin to really have an impact on the world. Okay, so it's all about obtaining that dough chaser mentality, and I have some notes here, so I'm going to be looking down at my screen quite often, but I need to make a few points. Okay, so again, we're going to be talking about how you're living to be a consumer. But before I get started, make sure you like this video, you share it on your news feed, and also if you're following us on Facebook, like the page. If you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you stay connected with us. That way you can continue to get the information that I share, okay? So anyway, how you're living to be a consumer. You're working a 9-to-5, you're working your ass off to try to make a living, but the whole system is set up against you, and you're actually, instead of building something great for your family, you're building something great for America, okay? America is a corporation in itself, and we are their little workers, right? And we need to begin to think differently when it comes to our money, so that we can actually see a gain from our hard works, instead of continuing to live this same lifestyle. So basically, you're set up to live as a consumer, meaning that instead of you producing, you're actually consuming. Meaning that instead of you actually giving something to society, you're actually taking from society. Okay, you're living to consume. Okay, and I have 3 particular points that I want to make. The first one is how we're working to pay bills. One of the quotes that we have around the office is, "I was not born to pay bills and die, I was born to thrive." But in order for you to thrive, you need to figure out a way where you're not continuing the cycle of working your 9-to-5 just to pay bills. And what I mean by that is, you're not really living a purpose unless your purpose is to pay bills. Other than that, what are you actually doing that's allowing you to go to another level? That's allowing you to provide value to the world. That's allowing you to take your family, the whole family tree to another level. What are you doing other than working your 9-to-5, paying your bills, and consuming what America has to provide? Okay, and what I mean by that is, 75% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, and more than 50% of the people who are actually watching this video right now do not have $1,000 inside of their savings account. Meaning that if something were to arise tomorrow, would you be able to depend on yourself to take care of it? And it doesn't make any sense to me for you to be working half of your life for a corporation or business when you don't have anything for yourself to take care of yourself. You're dependent on that job. And the thing is, if we want to go to another level, we have to begin to change the way that we operate when it comes with our finances. We need to be more self-sufficient. It's no longer the time of I'll just make it up next week on my paycheck. The time is now for you to actually take your finances seriously, because your success, you cannot depend on the government to take care of you. You have to depend on yourself. If you continue to depend on the government to take care of you, they're going to limit your ability. Okay, people who are surviving strictly off of Social Security, that's all they can do. They don't get any more than that $1,200 paycheck. That means that they're not able to do more than that, and that's their fault, because they didn't properly plan for the future. They depended on the government to take care of them, and I don't want that for you. I want you to be able to live the life of your dreams, to always take care of your family, and to be able to depend on yourself. But in order for that to happen, you have to do better with your finances. You need a plan for your money, and a plan that allows you to go to another level. Okay, We're working to pay bills, meaning that we're not making any investments. As a consumer, your priority is to make sure that you have the latest, right? And it's all about instant gratification. So in order for you to actually be able to take care of yourself one day, you need to learn that you have to make the sacrifice now so that you can actually obtain the self-sufficiency in the future. And we're so caught up in, instant gratification where we're not willing to make that sacrifice because, I work my butt off this 9 to 5, this whole week. I deserve this. I deserve to do that. And the thing that you ultimately deserve is financial freedom. You deserve to be wealthy. The thing is, we put the instant gratification ahead of the long-term wealth, which forces us to continue to be forced to, live this cycle of 9 to 5 our whole life, right? We're dependent on that paycheck. And due to that fact, we're not really able to make moves because at the end of the day, we have to maintain this lifestyle, right? So, of course, I don't want that for you. And it ultimately comes down to your discipline. I was talking about instant gratification. You have to be disciplined enough to avoid that or to deny it because you understand that the long-term goal is to obtain wealth and to live a bigger purpose. But if you're not disciplined enough to say no, you're going to fall into the cycle of working that 9 to 5 just to pay bills, okay? Instant gratification, long-term wealth. This one is not overnight. This happens instantly. And we have to learn to say no to instant gratification, be more disciplined, and learn to sacrifice our temporary wants for our long-term needs. And if we can do that, we can obtain ultimate wealth. We can obtain financial freedom. We can take our family and our community to the next level. And one big mistake that, we as consumers in America make is we allow our finances or our future to be in the hand of our government, and we need to be self-sufficient, okay? So one way where you're living to be a consumer is you're working to pay bills instead of using that money to invest in yourself and build wealth, all right? The second way you're living to be a consumer is you fall in the trap of debt being the reward. Ultimately, by us working our butts off, I deserve whatever you deserve. You fall in the trap of obtaining more debt, meaning that, basically what the rich do is they make it easy for you to get whatever you want, and the interest for you to get that instantly is the penalty, right? And a couple of days ago, I made a video about credit card debt and how it's killing your pockets. And due to the fact that we're so in love with instant gratification and we use credit against us instead of for us, we continue to live in this cycle of working to pay bills because now that we have more liabilities than we do assets. If you don't know, a liability is something that you pay towards monthly. An asset is something that actually pays you. Because we're acquiring more liabilities, we're basically forcing ourselves to be forced to make payments. We're forcing ourselves to make payments monthly when we can actually allow ourselves to receive payments, right? And due to the fact that we're so in love with instant gratification, we reward ourselves by obtaining more debt. I want to get the new Mercedes-Benz. It just came out, the 2018 edition. Or you know what? I'm not going to wait to put 20% down on a home. I'm going to take out a FHA loan and pay all the penalties that I have to pay because I want that house right now, right? And instead of us being a little patient and setting ourselves up to win, or just using our credit as leverage, we use our credit to acquire more debt. And what the rich do is they set us up to acquire more debt. However, they use our money, which is credit, to their advantage. They create more businesses. They create more opportunities for themselves. They acquire more assets using other people's money, aka credit, to acquire assets. So basically, we're in this cycle of continuing to put ourselves deeper in the hole by acquiring more debts through credit, instead of learning how to use credit to our advantage like the rich do, and we continue the cycle of living to be a consumer. And if you want to be a dough chaser, what you have to learn is to use your credit as leverage. First thing you have to do is, of course, improve your credit score, get out of debt, and begin to use your credit to acquire assets that are going to create money for you, instead of you acquiring liabilities that's going to create wealth for the next man. Okay, due to that fact of using debt as the reward, we continue to live as consumers. So easy to acquire liabilities, and the thing that we fail to realize is it's just as easy to acquire assets. We're just not willing to educate ourselves on the process because we're continuing the cycle of those before us. And that brings me to my third point is, you're not really creating a true legacy. There is no true legacy when you're living as a consumer, okay? And what I mean by that is, legacy is all about how you leave this world and how you remember it once you're gone, right? And a lot of people can't even afford to pay the funeral costs because they don't put the emphasis on acquiring life insurance. What they leave behind for their families is the acknowledgement that, hey, my mom was a good couponer. She could coupon, she could save money on groceries, right? Or my dad, he had the best Jordan collection. Basically, that's what we leave our family. And due to the fact that we're not acquiring life insurance, which is basically a replication of your economic value to the household, because we're not replacing that income for our household, one, we don't leave our children anything, and then two, we often leave our children in a deeper hole because they have to come up with the money to pay for our final expenses, right? Living life as a consumer is not worth it. And having no true legacy often impacts your children because what are you teaching them? You're not teaching them anything. So they're continuing the same cycle. They're repeating everything that you have done. In order for us to transcend, we have to break the cycle from those before us, right? And due to the fact that you're not taking the time out to educate your children, educate your community, educate yourself, we continue to live this cycle, which is one reason why we're not advancing as a people, right? A lot of people are, continuing to live, their life as a consumer because they're not really interested in building a true legacy. And once you understand how your legacy impacts the next generation, whether you care or not, you begin to take, your life more seriously. You begin to do things that are going to impact your family more seriously. For example, over the years of being married to my wife or having a relationship with her, her family, for example, when we use her brother, he would get a tax refund, $6,000 to $10,000 a year. And what they would do is they would take a family vacation to maybe Disney World, right? And what he has done, which I'm so proud of, is he has decided to break the cycle. He has, instead of investing in another corporation and a big vacation, he took a break this year. And he bought a house next to his own home, a house that was foreclosed. He bought it for $6,200, right? And a year later, when he looks at the valuation of that home, there's $50,000 of equity in that house. He could use that to buy more homes and build wealth. And that's due to the fact that he's not allowing instant gratification to control his life anymore. He's taking control by being disciplined and making that sacrifice for the long term, okay? And due to the fact that he made that one-time investment in himself, he has a property that's worth $50,000. So that's a $44,000 profit for one that he can use to either build that house up more to make it more profitable, or use that equity line of credit and invest in buying more $6,200 homes and repeating the same thing. So that's what it's really about, is being interested in your true legacy and building something for your family and your community, something that will help us go to the next level, help us transcend. And a lot of times, you know, a lot of us are living to be a consumer because we're not interested in that fact alone, okay? So what I need you to do is I need you to be more interested in acquiring personal life insurance, not life insurance that your job provides you, okay? We need to be self-sufficient, meaning that we're not depending on others to take care of our families. Invest in a life insurance policy that will replace at least 10 years of your economic value. And how you calculate that is basically if you provide $50,000 to the household every year, 10 years is $500,000 of economic value you provide to your household. So that means you need to get a $500,000 policy that will allow your family to continue to live 10 years after you die, okay? And, you know, also be interested in educating your children to do better because one thing that we continue to do is we repeat the same cycle over and over. And due to the fact that we're not interested in our legacy and we're more interested in instant gratification, you know, what a lot of cultures do is they will acquire big life insurance policies, and when they die, their family uses that money to invest in assets so their family can go to another level. And we're more interested in the fact that, you know, I can't take it with me when I die, so I'll spend it all now. But you have to be interested in the bigger picture. Hopefully you love your family enough for that fact alone. And I feel like if you take advantage of working on your legacy now and not allowing instant gratification to control your life and being more interested in the long term and building towards that, you will stop yourself from living to be a consumer and you will be the dough chaser, okay? So hopefully this information is helpful. I know it's long. It's pretty much a rant, but you know, I share this information because I want to help you go to another level. So use it, do some research, educate yourself, and focus on, you know, the long term. Focus on building a true legacy so that you're no longer living life as a consumer. All right. Again, my name is Jason White. Hopefully you found this information to be valuable. Make sure you like, share this video, and also follow the page and subscribe to the channel. I would definitely appreciate it. But, you know, thank you for your time. I'm out.